Hey, hello everybody, it's Xiao here and welcome back to Library of Ruina boss guides. Today I'll give you some tips and strategies to use against Xiao, the director of Blue Association Section 1. Xiao can be fought in the third row of South the City, the third column. Being the director of Blue Association, she has some familiar gimmicks, such as insane amounts of burn affliction and the forming storm mass attack similar to Lobo. The reception of the Iron Lotus is split into two acts. During the first act, you fight Mirrors and Imperfect Ego Xiao. In between acts, Xiao manifests Perfect Ego and then uses it against the library in the second act. During the second act, every odd scene, Xiao completely disables power-altering status ailments on both sides on the field, while inflicting power nullification. She also uses the combat page reverse scale every scene, which gives her a lot of strength and endurance upon winning a clash against it. Okay, now that we know what Xiao does, it's time to think about how to beat her. First off, floor choice matters a lot here. On most other receptions, the deciding factors are ultimately the floor completion level and your preference. But against Xiao, you should choose your floor carefully. My floor recommendations for this reception are Xiao, Gebura and Roland. Let's go over why they work well on Xiao and what Abnormality and Ego pages to choose. The entire idea of the fight with Xiao is to stagger her backlashing with reverse scale on even scenes. The difficulty of that is based on the fact that your variants are always inflicted with burn, meaning you have a limited amount of time to perform the clashes. So you have to do everything quickly and efficiently in order to defeat Xiao. With Xiao's floor, your win condition becomes hitting the Regret Ego page once. With a full hit from Regret, you can take 70% of Xiao's stagger away in one hit, drastically speeding up the fight. For Abno pages, you can take both Dark Flame and Coffin as your tier 3 pages, because they are both useful in their own ways. Dark Flame opens up Xiao's defenses for you to easily decimate the remaining 30% of her stagger resist, while Coffin can seal multiple of Xiao's dice at once, rendering her offensive capabilities practically useless. But remember that both of those pages have their own drawbacks. With Dark Flame, one Yazi or Tao Tai from Xiao literally sweeps your entire team, and Xiao's status ailment Harving passive makes full sealing with Coffin nearly impossible. Gebura is a classic choice for any boss battle, or any reception in general really. Against Xiao, however, the red mist strength stacking is only half as useful, due to power nullification. Luckily, half of Gebura's power is still enough to take Xiao down, but it might not be a great idea to go for Mountain of Corpses here. Gebura with Mountain of Corpses does not have enough speed dice and page draw to handle Xiao's attacks, and doesn't even outperform Xiao under power nullification. However, with a full team and a level /Gebura build, you can dish out a lot of stagger damage, especially via Greater Splits, which will be enough to take the Dragon Lady down. If you're really struggling with Xiao, I recommend giving Gebura a try, as by just playing her out with her floor's pages, you can achieve unexpectedly good results. Roland is here for exactly one Abnormality page, a Kiss. This page can inflict immobilization to Xiao, which is huge, as it renders her completely useless. You can do this every other scene, meaning you can adjust the infliction in such a way that when Xiao isn't immobilized, her power is nullified, or vice versa, if that suits your strategy better. The Abnormality page's Scars and Urgent can help your team stay alive for much longer, making the chance of success with the strategy way higher. Sword of Frost is also very useful here, as additional stagger damage is exactly what you want when fighting against Xiao. Sadly, the Ego pages of Roland's floor are inaccessible at this point of progression, so you won't have that nuke attack page that you have with other floors. Now that we're done with the floors, time to set up your team. There are many different strategies on the city, so you can experiment with the pages that you have, and try to come up with your own build. But I can tell you about some of the teams I've seen work on Xiao. First off, an essential part of any team is Purple Tier. She provides incredible amounts of utility to your team. Her 5 separate kits can fill many niches, such as debuff stacking, because Pierce stance kind of nullifies Xiao's passive, high stagger damage with blunt stance, attack redirection and general tanking with block stance. Yan is another great choice here, as his double blunt resistance helps him take Xiao's Yazima's attack head on, and his role here is primarily supportive, because of his prescripts. Nikolai, Rudolph, Maxim and Mia are all great choices as well, as with their full charge mass attacks, it's difficult to match their destructive power. Nikolai works exceptionally well here due to her supportive abilities combined with a Mag debuff, which helps take Xiao down so much. Rudolph can dish out high amounts of stagger damage, but gets easily staggered himself, so you have to be careful. Maxim does a great job at delivering mass attacks that deal way too much damage, and Mia is a character you've never played because her passive looks much better on the red mist. Using singleton charge decks, make sure that you can stack charge up while having lots of pages and light as well. Those decks work on people of Arc of the West, but anyone can use them, as long as they don't have a fully made niche already. Bonus points if you run in Purple Tier and block stance with Overcharge, for those sweet double-digit rolls without buffs. Another full team strategy that I don't want to tell you about but I have to, is Smoke. And let me tell you right away, smoke teams are lame, stupid and boring, as they trivialize the entire late game. I don't recommend using such teams unless you're really struggling with the reception, or just an asshole who treats bosses this way and then brags about them being easy, in which case, fuck you. Smoke teams heavily rely on dealing enough physical damage to an enemy in such a short amount of time that the boss's gimmick doesn't matter, and you can click all of your attacks into one enemy die and it will still work. Those teams usually use purple tier with slash stance, and it gives your damage a 50% bonus on top of the smoke's boosts. Prioritize using Vapor as your main damage dealing move, and also unlock Yeah from the Leaflet Workshop General Reception for her strong smoke based pages. For the rest of your team, transfer Puffy Broom, Smoke Overflow and Excess Supply to them from the Leaflet Workshop fixers. And definitely take Maxima and Nikolai in your team, for Maxim's Maximum Crash and Nikolai's Finishing Touch, that both multiply your damage even more. As for general tips on the reception, I'd recommend to kill mirrors ASAP, so Xiao doesn't get buffed on her Act 1 mass attack turn. I also recommend bringing excessive amounts of healing to the fight, either through the means of passives or abnormality pages, as Xiao eats through glass cannon teams pretty well, especially with her burns. And that's all I have to say on how to beat Xiao, the director of Flu Association Section 1. If you found this video helpful, leave it a like to let me know about that. And if you want to see more guides on the usage of certain combat and key pages, check out my other videos. While you're at it, why not subscribe to the channel? It's completely free, but it helps me out a lot. Anyways, thank you for watching and I'll see you around. Goodbye.